Welcome to the Blogger Genius Podcast, brought to you by Milo Tree. Here's your host, Jillian Leslie.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Blogger Genius Podcast. You're going to love my guest today. She is Crystal Paine, founder of MoneySavingMom.com, host of the Crystal Paine Show podcast. She's a New York Times bestselling author, and really she is a powerhouse. She has built her business into a seven-figure business, and we're going to get into all the details of how she thinks about social media, Instagram, Facebook, how she serves her audience. You're going to get all of her strategies. And what's really cool is her whole goal is helping other women live great lives with passion and purpose. So without further ado, here is my interview with Crystal Paine. Crystal, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here and to talk about one of my very favorite topics in all the world, blogging.
Yay, great. And we met about a month ago or a couple weeks ago at this AdThrive get-together, and I heard about you and saw what you were doing, and I was like, please come on my show.
Well, thank you so much. I am just honored to be here.
Oh, all right. Can you share your entrepreneurial journey? Like how you got started and what you're doing today?
Yes. So my husband and I got married over 16 years ago, and we had set this audacious goal that he was going to go through law school and we were going to stay out of debt. And we didn't really know how it was all going to work out, but we had some money set aside, and we just knew that if we lived on really little, that we could maybe make this happen. So we started in on this journey and quickly found out then that I was pregnant, which we were super excited about, but I had to quit work because I was so sick. So I'm laying in bed, kind of paving the path from the bed to the bathroom because I was so sick in my pregnancy, and just started researching everything that I could about making money online because I knew that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom after our baby was born. I knew that I needed to be bringing in money right now to make up for the money that I had lost because I wasn't working. And so part of that was signing up for all these Yahoo groups that were about entrepreneurialism because that was the age of Yahoo groups.
Exactly,
we didn't have social media back in the day.
And wait, what year is this that you're doing?
So this would have been, this was 2004.
Wow. Okay.
And so I just started asking people who were actually making a full-time income online, what are you doing? And I started trying all sorts of things. I started learning about affiliate marketing and just really experimenting. And in the process, I set up a couple of different websites. I tried some different things, a lot of things that didn't work, made a lot of mistakes, did it all on a very tiny shoestring budget. But in the process, discovered blogging because people were saying, well, if you have a website, if you add a blog to your website, it will help your SEO because Google loves blogs because they're regularly updated.
Right, new content.
I didn't really know what blogging was, but people were saying you should do it. So I, set up this blog on Blogger that I attached to, put it on my site.
So wait, what was your site? What is this site?
Okay, so this was a site for Christian women. It's in the vault of shame now.
Oh.
So I don't really talk about it because I was 23 years old and thought I really knew everything there was to know about how to be a good Christian woman. Anyway.
Okay.
So made a lot of mistakes, but so it was actually called Biblical Womanhood, if you want to know. So
okay.
There you go. There you go. My vault of shame.
Okay.
Brought it out of there. You can find it on the Wayback Machine if you want to be really annoyed and irritated with me, because I get really annoyed and irritated myself when I find it. But anyway.
Okay.
So I was blogging on there and just really blogging about all sorts of different things because I didn't really know, there weren't books and there weren't courses. There wasn't anything to tell you like this is what makes a good blog. And I look back, not only was my content so black and white, and I, like I said, annoy myself with what I was writing about because I was so hard-nosed and passionate about things and legalistic and all that. But I also would write these huge run-on sentences and did basically everything wrong as a writer. But I learned from that, and people started coming and reading this blog, probably because there weren't a lot of blogs at that time. And I really really discovered that I loved blogging, and then started seeing some people who were actually making money blogging. And I started to pay attention and experiment. And since this was a blog for Christian women, and I was kind of talking about really hot button topics, there was a lot that I couldn't do to monetize that. But I did discover that people were really interested in the topic of saving money. And my husband and I, like I said, we're trying to stay out of debt. So we were living on this beans and rice law school budget and little basement apartment that we were living in. And we were just trying to, stick with a really small grocery budget. And one week I had bought all our groceries that week for $17 because that's all we had. And our grocery budget was actually $30 a week, but that week we only had 17. So I made it work. And people just started coming out of the woodwork saying, oh my goodness, how are you doing this? And so I started blogging about saving money and, how to save money on groceries. And more people just were hungry for this information. So really, Money Saving Mom was born out of that. I didn't see that it was going to be something that I was going to do as my full-time thing. But I started it in 2007 because I saw the need was there, that people were interested in it, that I was passionate about this topic, that I had experience with it. And then just it was kind of took off far beyond what I could ever dream or imagine. And within a year, we were making a full-time income off of Money Saving Mom.
Okay. Did your husband come work with you, or was he off doing his legal career?
So he graduated from law school I'm trying to think. So we started Money Saving Mom in 2007, and he had just graduated, and he had gotten a job. And actually, this is an interesting story. I don't usually tell this on podcasts, but so after law school, it was a really hard time in our marriage because he had gotten a great job, but then some things happened with that. It was, he was in politics, and then you know how things go with politics. And then the guy he was working for lost his election. So then he lost his job. And that was really hard for us because we had thought that he was going to be in that job for at least a few years. It was going to be a great stepping stone job. So I started Money Saving Mom actually whenever he was unemployed, and we were just trying to figure out how to make ends meet. And it was kind of one of those things where I saw, well, there's a lot of potential here. Why don't we jump out and try this? And so it's really cool to look back and see how that really hard time in our life, we never knew what it was going to turn into. But so to answer your question, so he got another job, a legal job, and then he opened up his own law firm, and he did that. And then in 2014, he shut down his law firm, and we decided to have him come home full time.
Wow. I love it. I love that you created this thing that became your family business.
Yeah. And it's crazy how, he went to law school, and we thought that was going to be the long-term, that was like what we saw, like that's the finish line, like he's going to be an attorney. But that actually ended up being the stepping stone for this much bigger, much greater thing than we could ever dream or imagine.
That's amazing. Now, and what is his role versus your role today? And how big is your staff?
Yes. So I always say I don't have a staff, I have a team, because we are all on the same page, and I'm not like, yes, I am the boss, but I hate to use that term, if that makes sense. So we have 2 full-time employees, and then we have about 7 part-time contractors. And so my husband, we always say he doesn't work for me. He works with me, because we've learned that in our marriage that doesn't work. So he does all of the legal, obviously, which is really great to have an attorney on board. But then he looks at all the contracts for different companies that we work with. And then he also takes care of all the financial aspects. So he is over every single detail of the budgeting and the spreadsheets and payroll and all of that. He works with our CPA and takes care of all that for me. And then we recently launched a podcast, and we did not expect that this was going to happen, but he came on the first episode, and he was my guest, and people loved him so much that after 25 episodes, I asked him to be my co-host. And so we are podcasting together, and now he is also my podcast kind of producer. He does all the sound and everything for that.
Okay, first of all, what is your podcast called?
It is called The Crystal Paine Show.
Okay, and what is it about?
So basically, my heart for it is just to really encourage women to live with intention. And so it's kind of done like a radio show where we have different segments. Every week, I always bring a book that I have loved and would recommend. And then we have a What's Saving Your Life segment. So it's something that's making my life better, easier, more enjoyable. And then we do a Q&A at the end. And then in the middle, we usually have about a 15 to 20 minute interview with some guest. And I always choose someone who has impacted my life in a deep way. So it's about 30 minutes and we do a lot of things in the 30 minutes, but we're having so much fun with it.
I know. I love podcasting as well. Oh my God, that is terrific. Now, very briefly, how do you make money?
How do you make money with blogging?
So your business, I mean, you started with blogging and you mentioned, affiliates, but but you have in all honesty, you have a very successful business. So could you just share the different income streams that you've been able to put in place with your business?
So I always tell people that if you want to be successful, you need to literally have thousands of different income streams when it comes to blogging. So blogging is still our bread and butter. And we still make, I would say that probably 50 to 60% of our income comes through the blog, through affiliates. And we also do a lot of sponsored posts and types of where we work with companies. It has to be, I'm super picky, but it has to be a win-win sort of opportunity. And then I also have some courses that I have put together. I have written 3 books, and then I have a blogging courses at yourblogginguniversity.com, and then also a blogging mastermind.
Wow, you are one busy lady. Very busy. And here's the piece that I also want to figure out how you find time for, which is you seem to be an early adopter of social media platforms. And I've been watching your Instagram since meeting you. I've been watching your Instagram stories and I love it. And I feel like I know you and you're my best friend, even though you don't really know me that way, but it's just like you really welcome people into your life. And can you talk about how you've done that, how you've jumped on to social media platforms and what your strategy is and what you're really what is connecting for you today?
Yes. So I would say, first off, my heart is really to help women feel seen. And I just I'm very, very passionate about in this world of disconnect where we have so many dings and bells and whistles and we don't have a lot of face-to-face relationships. I feel that it's so important for people to feel seen and known and valued. And so social media for me is a way to connect with women in a really personal way, which is why I try to answer every single direct message that comes in. I try to answer as many comments and as many emails as I get, even though that's typically hundreds every day, because it's really important for me that people feel that on my platform. So social media, that's my heartbeat behind it. And I love how you said how you feel like you're my best friend, because that's really my goal. I don't want to be someone who is standing up on a platform. I always try to, when I go speak at an event, that I lower the stage immediately, that I am just like you. I am in the trenches with you. I am learning with you. I don't know everything. I haven't figured it all out. And I want to learn from you as well. So that's really my heartbeat behind it. But as far as being an early adopter of social media, it's funny because when Facebook came around and started to kind of be a thing, because like I said, when I started blogging, there was not social media. We had blog posts and comments and emails. That's what we did. But when it started to become a thing, my husband actually said, you know what? I don't see anybody doing this, but I think you should start a Facebook page for your blog. And at this time, people weren't doing this. And I was like, I don't know. That's kind of weird. But he's like, I just think you should try it. And so I did. And that ended up kind of blowing up my site over the course of the next 4 years. And so I learned from that it is good to always be looking at what is the next up and coming thing. Because if you want to survive for the long haul as a blogger, you need to actually constantly be looking to experiment and constantly be looking to evolve, because the internet is a constantly changing medium. And so for me, now a lot of what I do is on live video and Instagram stories, and that's a huge piece of our business. And people who aren't doing that, I feel like they're missing out in a big way, because the connection and the level of depth that you can have with in relationship building and building trust, just you can't get that anywhere else.
Interesting. Okay, so you were first on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And that was your platform.
Yes.
And
Facebook, yeah. So there was a time frame when Facebook, it's just like they shine their light down on me, and they were literally showing my post to every single person who followed me, plus a whole bunch more. So at that point, there was a time period where we were getting 20,000 new followers every single week on Facebook. So it just blew up. And then the algorithms changed, obviously, and it's not at all what it once was, but Facebook still is a very strong traffic stream for us. I think a lot of people have kind of, feel like Facebook has died, but not for us. We're very strategic in how we use Facebook and constantly experimenting, and it still brings in a lot of traffic and engagement for us.
Okay, wait, you have to stop. How
Yes.
are you using Facebook to drive traffic? What are these experiments?
So we're constantly trying new things. One of the things that right now I will tell you, and in 3 months from now, this might not be working, but I am finding that, so Facebook Live used to be a great way to get a lot of engagement and a lot of traffic. I am actually figuring out right now, this is something I've been experimenting with just for the last 3 to 4 weeks, that if I do an Instagram Live and then I save it and then I upload it to Facebook, and you can actually run it like it's a live video, or you can just upload it as a video, and then I pin it to the top of my page, I'm going to get significantly more views than I would if I did a Facebook Live. So
interesting.
And then I can also post that on IGTV. So then I do one Instagram Live, and then I'm able to use it. It not only shows up in my feed for 24 hours, but then I can post it on Facebook and do IGTV. And so I'm able to hit thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and have thousands more views from that. But I only have to do the work one time.
And how often then are you doing this Instagram Live?
I usually am doing at least an Instagram Live 4 to 5 times a week.
Okay, and how long are these Instagram Lives?
That's an interesting question. So it really depends upon the topic. So I typically do a morning show. I don't do it every single morning, but typically I'm going to do a morning show on Instagram Live, and those are going to be somewhere between 6 and 15 minutes. Now, if you do not have a business account with 10,000 followers, you don't want to if you're going to upload it to IGTV, you don't want to do it longer than 10 minutes, because you cannot upload a video that's longer than 10 minutes to IGTV if you don't have over 10,000 followers. So just something to keep in mind. But because I do have more than 10,000 followers, then I don't worry so much about the time. But I would say that if you, one of the big things for IGTV is that you always have to remember that most people are watching the replay. And so you do not want to be waiting. This is such a big thing for live video. You don't want to wait around. Don't wait for people to show up. Dive right into your content. Tell people within the first 5 seconds exactly what you're going to be talking about, so that you are kind of, pulling them in right from the get-go. If they have to sit there for 45 seconds and wait for you to tell what you're going to talk about, they're gone.
Interesting. Okay, so you don't have anybody showing up. You're there. You're recording. You're talking about what you're going to be talking about.
Yes, and then just dive right into your content. I think this is so important when you do Facebook Live. When you do any kind of live video, I think that I see so many people that they're just sitting there kind of waiting for people to show up, and they're forgetting that the gold for live video is in the replays, and you want to always make sure that you're thinking of your replay audience.
Are you a blogger or entrepreneur whose traffic is taking a hit due to those ever-changing social media algorithms? Have you heard that the real money's in your email list, but you don't know how to increase your subscribers? Do you feel overwhelmed trying to grow your social media followers and trying to be in all places all the time? If any of that describes you, I want to share a tool that will increase your social media followers, grow your email list, and bring in more traffic to your site. It's called MiloTree. MiloTree is an app that my husband David built for our site, Catch My Party. When we began Catch My Party back in 2009, Facebook was sending us loads of traffic and we were growing like crazy. Well, that is until a sudden algorithm change had us scrambling. We knew that Pinterest was the best place to get more traffic, and so in 2015, David built a pop-up to grow our Pinterest followers, knowing that more followers equals more traffic. It worked immediately. In the 4 years that we've been using the MiloTree app on Catch My Party, Our Pinterest account has grown exponentially to over 1.1 million followers, and Pinterest now drives millions of page views to our site every single month. In 2016, we rolled out the MiloTree app to help other online entrepreneurs just like you. And we expanded it to help you not only grow your Pinterest followers, but also your followers on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. It'll grow your sales on Shopify and Etsy, and it will even grow your email list. MiloTree is easy to use. It can be installed in under 2 minutes with zero design or technical skills. And as fellow online entrepreneurs, we understand the importance of site speed and staying in Google's good graces, so MiloTree is lightning fast and Google friendly. The MiloTree app's also customizable. You can focus on growing one platform at a time or switch between several. We also provide you with analytics to help you choose which platforms to focus on. Right now, you can get your first 30 days for free. Just go to milotree.com to sign up for your free trial today. And don't let anybody tell you that traffic doesn't matter. It matters a lot. Whether you want to work with a premium ad company, go after larger brand sponsorships, or simply have more people to market your own products to, your traffic must be growing. If you aren't converting your visitors into followers, subscribers, and customers, you need to change your strategy. And MiloTree will get you the results you need. But it can't help you unless you add it to your site. So take the first step today and head over to milotree.com and start your free 30-day trial. There are no contracts and you can cancel anytime. As a bonus, once you sign up, I'll send you valuable business tips each week to help you continue to grow your business. You can't be everywhere all the time. Let MiloTree work for you. It's fast, it's easy, and it gets results. So what are you waiting for? Get your free trial today. Go to milotree.com. How does that fit in with your Instagram stories? Because that's what I've been watching of yours.
So Instagram Stories is a completely different animal. And so it is the one place where I am just completely free to post whatever. So like on Facebook, I am much more focused on, I have your blogging mentor Instagram account, which I'm much more focused on what I do on there because that's about, helping people build and grow their blogs and social media platforms. On Facebook, it's Money Saving Mom. So it's very much about helping women live with intention, helping them save money. But on Instagram Stories, I just feel like this is my personal account and I just view it as whatever I want to talk about, whatever I want to tell people about, I will tell them about it. And so I take people along on my day. I tell them stories. I will talk about if I have some kind of promotion going on, if I am ranting about something. Usually it's a gentle rant, but right? You're going to see me in my glasses, in my bed head. You're going to see me made up. You're going to see me when I'm traveling. Like you're just going to get a more holistic picture of what my life is actually like than you would ever get in a little square on an Instagram or a blog post.
Okay, so let me step back and let me repeat this back to you just so I understand. Every day you're making stories, right? Because I see them.
Yes.
And you're doing a couple stories every day. And what I love about it is you're so personable and you share your fails. I love when you share your fails or you share stuff that you've bought or whatever it is. And so that's where I've been focusing and you've been definitely building this one-sided best friend relationship with me. And so that's what you do throughout your day, right?
Yes.
Then a couple times a week, like 4 or 5 times a week, you say you're doing an Instagram Live. Now, in your Instagram Live, what are you doing? What are you selling? How are you monetizing that? Because your stories, you're not really monetizing. It's really just like building a relationship. Would you agree?
I actually do monetize my stories a lot. We make thousands and thousands of dollars off of Instagram stories every month.
Explain. Start
yes.
there.
Okay, so that's what people don't understand is that people are following bloggers. They're not following blogs. Or they're following influencers. They're not following the influencer account. And I think so often we miss that. People want to build relationships. And so when you build a relationship with someone, you can take them wherever you want to go. And they will come with you because you've built a relationship and you built trust. So on Instagram stories, pretty much every day, there's something that I'm pointing people to. So for instance, yesterday I was doing this deal with a company for these water bottles. And so I talk about how I drink a gallon of water. That's something that I talk about a lot on Instagram, a lot on, it's just who I am. I eat 2 salads a day and drink a gallon of water. And so there was these cool water bottles that you were tracking how much water you were drinking. And so I had the company had sent me one, and we had an affiliate relationship, and they had a deal on it yesterday. And so I did a series of, I think it was probably 5 stories, so frames that made up one story on that. But I'm talking about, here's, I like this water bottle, and here's why I like it, and then swipe up and you can go get it. And so I do a lot of that, but I make it so that it doesn't feel salesy. You don't realize even that, I'm just talking about stuff that I love. But so then also a lot of the time I am sending people to go sign up for something that's a freebie on my site, but I'm getting them on my email list. And then I have a whole welcome series and sequence that then the goal is hopefully that they're going to buy a product as well.
Got it. And what is that product in your welcome series that you're trying to sell?
So I have a lot of different ones because I have a lot of different courses, but recently we've been focusing on, I have this 5 Days to a Better Morning series that I did. That is a 5-day email series that you also get videos and an exclusive Facebook group invite. And so when you sign up for that, then you also, the goal is it's going to push people hopefully to buy my Makeover Your Mornings course, and you get a deal on it and everything. So if people want to check that out, that's at crystalpaine.com/mornings. So you can see what I'm doing there.
Interesting. Okay. So you've got then a variety of, like, you've got Money Saving Moms, but then you also have crystalpaine.com.
Yes.
And these are different.
And yourbloggingmentor.com.
And your blog. Okay. And you're running these 3 businesses, which all have different income streams.
Yes.
Okay. So let's now go back to, I get now your stories and I get how you monetize them. Now, 4 days or 5 days a week, you're making a 6 to 10 minute, let's say, video on Instagram Live. And then you are taking that video, you're putting it on Facebook and pinning it to the top of your page. You're also putting it on IGTV. And the goal is that people will come back and see it over time. And then,
So there's like a couple of different goals with, so why I do the videos, the live videos. I can dive into a subject in more depth than I could on stories. So a lot of times I will pick a topic. A lot of times I'm answering questions, and it might be a question. I get a lot of questions about anxiety and insecurity. That's something that I've struggled with a lot, and helping women to build courage and all of that. So a lot of times my lives will be on topics similar to that. And then I will also do lives that are specifically on saving money and showing my grocery hauls.
So so these are 2 separate things, but your audience knows this is what you're known for. This is why they come to you. So they're willing to go, wait a minute, because we'll talk about this idea of niching down, which everybody talks about. But these are disparate things, right? You've got anxiety and you've got money saving.
Yes. And so that's the thing where I feel like, some people would say you're doing way too many things. But I have found that when people are following you, they love whatever you put out. Now, is everything that you put out going to be helpful to them? Absolutely not. Some people only come because they want, when I talk about my personal things, or they only come for the grocery hauls or whatever. But that's why at the beginning of the live, I will say, today we're going to be talking about da 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 da, so that they can know, oh, this is for me. Oh, this is not for me. And, we have a lot of people who follow who aren't moms, but a lot of people who follow are. So some topics will be specifically about mothering or parenting. And so I try to make that real clear up front. But because we have, so many followers, then it allows me the ability to kind of hit a lot of different spaces. And that's okay, because people are following me. They're not following specifically for I'm only expecting that she's going to talk about saving money. But one of the things I was going to mention, so with IGTV, the reason that I put it up on IGTV is because Instagram right now is really, really rewarding people for using IGTV, because they want to, that part of their platform to grow. And so if you put it up on IGTV right now, they are going to show it in the Discover page a lot more than they will show anything else of yours. So I am typically doing IGTV not only so that I can have kind of an evergreen place where if someone has watched my live, I did a live last week that was all about like the dopamine effects of social media. Interesting that I did it on social media, but I was talking about our kids and the choices that we made for our kids and why they don't have social media. And so that one was one that got a lot of views, and people kept writing and saying, where can I get the download for this or whatever. And so when I put it on IGTV, it allows people to be able to share it. But mostly I'm putting it on IGTV so that it's showing up in the Discover page so that I'm getting a lot of new eyeballs on my account because of that.
Now, how, again, are you monetizing these videos versus your story? So like the water bottle thing, I totally get it. You got this new cool water bottle, you're sharing about it, and you're saying, guys, if you want this, we've got a special, swipe up, buy it.
So on the actual videos, those are typically not monetized. I'm thinking more about relationship building, and I'm thinking more about just wanting to share my heart, and I want to answer questions. So for me, it's very much like everything that I do is in some way going to relate to building that audience and building that trust so that ultimately, yes, it is going to bring in income. But for me, it's not all about the money.
Right.
I think for a lot of people, it's not. So it's like you're doing things because you want to build relationship, because I ultimately, my heart is just really to help people. Yep. And so I want to be able to do that, and Instagram Live as well as IGTV, as well as putting the videos on Facebook allows me the opportunity to be able to deepen that relationship and really help people.
That's so nice. I mean, again, what's interesting is I would have thought you'd be monetizing those videos and not your stories. And actually it's kind of the reverse.
It's a lot harder to monetize on IGTV as well as on Instagram Live because you can't really put a link. So stories are so much easier to monetize because you can just have the swipe up. When you tell people, go click on the link or you can DM me or whatever, they will, but it's just a little bit more clunky. And so I try to focus on, where's the best ROI. And I do sometimes say, if you want to DM me or you can go to this link, sometimes I'll do that. Like if I'm promoting a podcast or if I'm promoting, the 5 Days to a Better Morning or something where I have an easy link that they can go to. But typically I'm just focusing, that's just about relationship building when I'm doing those videos.
And what I love is that at the core, your goal is to help other women. And you can also make a living at that.
Yes,
and that
I feel like I have the best job.
But those are not in conflict. I think a lot of people, especially women, feel like that monetizing is a dirty word and that somehow it's spammy or it's insincere. But there is a way to say, you know what, I drink a lot of water. I get a lot of benefit out of this water bottle. Let me share it with you. It makes my life better. It can make your life better too.
Yeah. So one of my last book that I wrote was called Money Making Mom. And it was really, that was my heartbeat behind it, was to help women show them how you can make an income so that you can make an impact. Because ultimately, I am so passionate about giving. And that is one of the things why I do what I do. We fund a big organization in South Africa. And I'm just really passionate about South Africa and the babies and little kids there, and just getting to go there and help with projects there and everything. And so that is really, I know that not only when I bring in an income that is earned by helping people, by providing resources that are going to help people at a price that they can afford, not only is it helping our family, and not only is it able to then pay our team well, but then it allows me to be able to give generously both in the US and then around the world.
I love that. I love that. I love that it's so aligned. I really do, that you've been able to build this really successful business, give back, feed your family, and you're excited about what you do.
Yes, I feel so blessed, and that's why I'm so passionate about helping other women, because I feel like if I can do this, I don't have a college degree. I struggled in school when it came to academics. I was the person that you wouldn't have ever said, wow, she's just really going to go far in life. Like, I just didn't have a lot of gifts and talents growing up. I wasn't one of those people that just stood out. But so I feel like if I can be able to be successful as a blogger when I'm not a techie person, when I have struggled through this and self-taught so much. Anyone truly can if you're willing to just put your head down and put a lot of passion into it and stick with it.
I love that. Now okay, so in the landscape of social media, because you are this early adopter, where do you think the next opportunities are coming?
That's interesting. I've really been looking at there's always new social media coming down the pike. And every time I hear of one that it looks like, oh, there's some potential here, I look into it. Right now, I don't see any up and coming social media that I'm like, that one is really going to go far. But I do see that there is a movement from kind of being mass social media to being more personalized. So that's why I talked about like there's so much gold in direct messaging. And I think so many people miss out on that because they're not building those one-on-one relationships because they feel like, oh, we need to go after the big numbers, and forgetting that the one-on-one is where you really build your business. And I also see that private groups that are smaller, that's what people are really hungry for right now. And so I'm looking for opportunities where, like, one of the things we did last year was we set up a Facebook group for Money Saving Mom. We'd always just had this Facebook page that had hundreds of thousands of followers, but we set up a Facebook group that I think there's only 11,000 people in it, but it's a much more intimate sort of experience. And so looking for opportunities to be able to provide that for people so that they feel like they're a part of something and that they're seen and they're known.
I love that. Okay, now you mentioned that you had started a group for online entrepreneurs. Can you just share what that is and how people can find out about it?
Yes. So a few years ago, I started Your Blogging Mentor. It was something that I had wanted to do for a really long time, but just didn't have the capacity with everything else that was on my plate. And I wanted to do a good job of it. So I started Your Blogging Mentor, which is a blog to help bloggers make a part-time to full-time income from blogging. And that's really my heartbeat for it. And then I have a number of courses that are very much beginner courses to help you to set up your blog and to set it up successfully, set up your email list, know how to brand yourself well. And those are at yourblogginguniversity.com. And those are all $37 each. I try to keep everything very, very accessible and affordable for people who are starting out, because I know what it's like to not have a lot of money when you're starting out.
And if you were to tell people, like, where is the opportunity to start making money, what would you say it is?
So I am actually working right now on a course called Monetize Your Blog. I've been spending a lot of time in this space trying to figure out, where would I tell beginners to start? And I really think that you start by, knowing your why and having a passion for what you do and knowing who you want to serve. So you start there instead of saying, how am I going to make money? Say, who am I going to serve? And you start with that and knowing what you're good at so that you are making sure that what you're putting out there, you're going to be in it for the long haul. And then based upon that, once you have built up I feel like you need to have some good posts in queue and also published, then I think the easiest way to start is by just putting advertising on your sidebar. It's super easy to start there. And then I would say with starting with understanding referral programs and affiliate programs, because that is a really easy, kind of low-hanging way to be able to make money.
I couldn't agree more. I think that's I think that getting millions and millions of page views that's the long game. But I think becoming an expert in something and building that sense of trust so that people will buy will buy what you recommend, like the water bottle.
Yes. Yeah. And so I realized I didn't finish your question. So I started Your Blogging Mentor and then Your Blogging University. And then I got so many requests from people if I could do more one-on-one coaching. And I just didn't feel like I had the capacity for that. I did dabble in it a little bit. And then I did a few 4-week blog coaching groups and really, really loved kind of teaching on a smaller level where it was just a few hundred people and teaching them and getting to go deeper with them. And so a few months ago, we launched Your Blogging Mastermind, which is kind of my big project right now. And you can find out more. We will be, we're actually opening up again. We're opening up the doors to the public in just a few weeks, and it's going to be at yourbloggingmastermind.com. But that is just really a place for me to teach other bloggers who are just really desiring to make a part-time to full-time income from blogging, teach them what I'm learning from my mistakes and from my successes, and just really pulling the curtain back and showing them what I'm doing, what's working, what's not working, what I'm learning, what is being, what is helpful to me, what right now I'm experimenting with, and how it's going for me. And so not only is it that, but then it's also such a great place for being able to meet other bloggers, get feedback, get that honest accountability, say, hey, can you look at my sales page? Give me some, great feedback on that. And so I do, I teach a session every month on a specific topic, and then I do a follow-up session that is a critique session. So then people can submit their blog post or their Instagram or whatever it is that we're talking about that month. And I then will just critique a bunch of them and invite everyone else in to help critique so that we can, as a group, make your blogs and your social media better.
Oh, Crystal, that is terrific. Okay, how can people reach out to you, find you? Like, I know you're everywhere. So where would you direct people to learn more?
I think my favorite place to tell people to go to is Instagram.
Okay.
So I'm the Money Saving Mom on Instagram, and side note, I had Crystal Paine, and then I heard all the experts say you should brand yourself. So I switched over and I wanted Money Saving Mom, but it was already taken. So then I went to the Money Saving Mom, and now Crystal Paine is taken. But anyway, side note, yes, always just get your brand right from the get-go on social media, even if you're not using it. But so I'm the Money Saving Mom on Instagram, and that's where you can see my Instagram stories and just get a behind the scenes look into my life and kind of be able to build the relationship. And I look at all the comments there, read all the messages, and try to reply to as all of them as I'm able to. And then also, if you want more blogging help and encouragement and inspiration, check out yourbloggingmentor.com, and I'm Your Blogging Mentor on Instagram.
I love it. Well, Crystal, I really do believe like you are one of my best friends. So, which is just kind of funny, but true. So if you want Crystal as a best friend, go watch her stories. That's what I would say.
Thank you. I love that so much. Like, that makes me so happy because I want to just be like your next door neighbor that's just cheering for you and believes in you and knows that you can do this, and we're in this together, and we have hard days and we have great days, but we're going to make it.
Totally. Well, Crystal, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're ready to incorporate Crystal's tips into your business and you do not have the MiloTree Instagram pop-up installed on your site, right now, head to milotree.com, sign up. You get your first 30 days free. What you will be able to do is convert your visitors into those highly engaged Instagram followers effortlessly and start growing your business faster.